Well, if you want your plants to thrive, having good soil is crucial. But do you know the difference between sand and silt and how much you need in your mixture?
Well, this morning, our KCAL 9 Sylvia Lopez gets a hand-on lesson on Soil 101.
We are in the garden talking today about the elements of soil with Nick Federoff from thingsgreen.com.
How you doing?
Nick, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Well, I guess soil is really basic for having a nice garden.
You know, I'm so glad you're using the word soil because dirt is what's underneath your fingernails. Soil is what plants live in.
Right.
And we do have some really interesting elements when we start breaking down what soil is all about. There's a lot of different types of particles that can be found in there. And we have some of those elements right here. For instance, every good soil should have a little bit of sand in it. So sand's very important. And then we have silt. And silt is the type of material that we find like off of riverbeds.
Right.
And then of course the hideous clay, you know, that horrible, this right here makes the absolute best mud pies.
But not good for growing things.
Not necessarily good for growing things, but you do need it. That's what's really interesting about it.
Okay.
And what I like to do is I like to show how sand, silt, and clay, how water moves through it.
Okay.
So let's do this. We have an equal amount of water to the containers over here. And let's take this and pour it inside the sand. Yeah, and watch what happens here. Watch how quickly ooh, look at, see how fast that's going?
Oh yeah.
It is amazing. So therefore, sand by itself does not make a good soil. There you go. Look how that goes. It's gone.
Right.
Just gone.
Right. You don't even see it.
That's why that's perfect stuff for the beach.
Nothing left on top.
So can you imagine roots trying to find water?
Right.
It's just not going to happen.
Okay.
Now we have silt. Silt, the particles are a little bit smaller than sand. So technically speaking, if we set this thing up right, it's going to move a little bit slower.
Oh, it's sitting there.
See that?
Right. Oh,
Sits a little bit. It slowly starts to move through.
Right.
Then that's because the particles on it are much smaller.
Okay.
Now, when we move down to our next one, which is the clay, like I said, great mud pies over here. We're going to take this and we're going to put it right inside there.
Let's see what happens.
And look at that. See? Look how slow, much slower. And that's because these particles are so tight to each other.
They're sticking together.
They're sticking together. Yeah, we're going to be here for a while before that one ever goes through, you know.
And it's kind of bubbling up there.
It's bubbling up, yeah. And, you know, that's a really good point. There's airspace. There's airspace between these particles. Yeah, so it's going to go through.
Okay.
So when we're talking about a real life situation like we have over here, this is not for potted plants, by the way. This is only for out in the landscape. We need to fortify the soil. And fortifying the soil means that we have to add other elements to the soil. One element that we like to add is peat moss, also known as sphagnum moss. Okay, this comes out of bogs out of Canada, and it's a real light, airy kind of material, and it does hold moisture. Okay, speaking of holding moisture and opening up those pore spaces for your soil would be this right here. This is perlite. It's almost like a volcanic-like material, and it will open up the pore spaces, and water will get trapped inside these little spaces. And that'll be good for the roots.
Good.
And of course, our go-to is mulch. Our compost. Oh, look at this gold. There's just beautiful stuff.
Very rich.
Yes, it's rich. It helps the water move through, but at the same time, it helps the water stay. So when you come to our website, thingsgreen.com, you're going to find that I have what is called the soil triangle. And it talks about sand, silt, and clay. Depending on what percentages that you use, you can actually create the most perfect type of soil for different types of plants. So in our particular case right here, we're going to make some soil. So let's get an equal part of clay, and then just dump a little bit in there.
You're going to get about a half a cup or so?
Yeah, half a cup is fine. Okay, and then you can do a little, here, we'll do that one, help you out here.
Our silt, we're mixing them all up here.
Yes, we are. And by the way, one of the reasons why we're talking about this is I'm making a personal appearance next week for Million Trees LA at the Cypress Park Home Depot. And what we're going to end up doing over there is we're working with soil that's like this. We're putting trees and horrible soil, but we're fortifying the soil first.
Making it good for them.
Now what we're going to do is we're going to take more of this. So put some of this compost in here.
Another bit of half a cup in there.
Okay.
There we go.
No, full cup. Full cup. That's it.
There we go.
Throw it inside there. I'm
Throw
going
it
to go
in.
here, and then we're going to put a full cup of this.
Oh, this is so much fun.
Yes, and we're going to put a full
Getting our
cup of
gloves
this.
dirty.
And that right there.
Nice.
And when
Oh,
everything is said and done,
beautiful.
you've got yourself a perfect soil mix. For
Oh.
more information, come to my website, thingsgreen.com, and then you'll know exactly how to use this.
Can I just play with this
Yeah,
for the rest
indeed.
of the
Keep
day?
on going.
All right. Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, we get a rototiller, we'll mix it in and
No,
all that.
no,
Yes,
just with
it's
my hands.
You know,
This
put
is
some
fun.
in, make some mud pies. How
I
about we
like
make some
it.
mud pies? Do an awful lot of fun.